Hey guys, I'm Jeev, currently 17k on 2 accounts, and today I'm going to be revealing Tavern 3 and Tavern 4 spells, the new season mechanic. My channel usually specializes in meta updates and also Battlegrounds guides, so to follow that theme I'll be rating each spell ranging from 1 star, literally unplayable, to 5 stars, you must snap pick every time you see it. Let's just get right into it. The first card I have to reveal for you guys is Shiny Ring, which is a 2 gold tier 3 spell. Give your minions +1/+1. I'm gonna give this 2 stars. The first thing that comes to my mind with this card is Sparkling, which was a pretty good card for Tavern 3, and its battle cry was to give the shop and your minions +1/+1. This is slightly worse than that because it doesn't come with a body, so it's not as good of tempo to buy as Sparkling, and having the body is really important, so I don't think you would buy this very much without the 5/2 body. The next card we have is Reckless Investment, and it costs 1 to gain 3 gold, and next turn gain or lose 2 gold. I think this card, I'm just gonna straight up give it a 5 stars. I think it's really OP. I like to think of this card like a free dealing gambler, but it costs 1, so you can buy it pretty much in every single situation. And you just, whenever you need the 3 gold, you can cash out. And usually it's not too expensive to just buy this at any point. Like, you can squeeze in just a 1 gold purchase with most of the situations. So yeah, just really flexible card, and it makes your economy just really good, I think. Next up, we have Fleeting Vigor, which is a 1 gold, give your minions +5/+5 until next turn. I'm gonna give this 2 stars, not because of its effect, but because it's a really cheap spell that you can buy for some other card synergy with spells, such as maybe the new revealed 6-drop neutral. But yeah, I generally think temporary buffs in this game is not so good because it doesn't improve your long-term board, it only improves your board for the fight. So even if you win the current fight, you're going to be weaker because you spent 1 gold being stronger for the fight, but not really stronger for the game. So the next card is Tricky Trouser. Give a minion +1/+2. If it has taunt, remove it. So obviously this card reminds us of a card that's probably about to leave soon, otherwise I can't imagine printing this. Vigilant Stoneborn, right? So Vigilant Stoneborn was a pretty good card, so I'm gonna give this 4 stars. Like, the utility on this card is really good for 1 gold. Like, I would even spend 1 gold for just a taunt most of the time because having a taunt at all times is pretty important. But just removing taunt from a big Urzel or big beatboxer has tremendous value, and being able to do so for cheap is really good. The next spell I'm revealing is Echoing Roar. I'm gonna go ahead and give this card 4 stars. I think it's actually really powerful. It's like the spell, it's actually basically the spell Gruul rules. Give a minion at the end of the turn, gain +2/+2. This card is really powerful because if you are on Tavern 3, put this on a Deflectobot, you're most likely keeping that Deflectobot the whole game, and it's just gonna keep buffing it, and usually buffing Deflectos is pretty hard, and this is like a really good way to buff Deflectos. It's probably gonna have like 12/12 in value. Uh, so yeah, it allows you to play that. It works really well with Gladiator and Bronze Ordan because those cards are pretty high utility on Tavern 3 as well. So I think you should buy this in a lot of situations. Just if you have a card you can keep, even like Lava Lurker or something, it's just almost always gonna give like a lot of buffs for how much it costs. So Natural Blessing is a 3 gold. Choose a minion. Give each minions of that type +3/+2. This is probably 3 stars to me. It's actually pretty strong. Like, let's say you have like Reefer for Lava Circle start and you have like Nagas anyways, which is a pretty common situation. Just buying this on turn 6 is a huge power spike, insanely stabilizing, and just allows you to power level. Or let's say you have like Deflectocopters add +3/+2 on all your mechs. Like I can see because of this card just staying down on 3, playing 2 copters, 2 deflectos, 2 annoytrons, and that's like really, really strong already. So yeah, this card makes Seaborn Summoner and Deflectobot really strong, I think. So I'm gonna give it 3 stars. Okay, that's it for the tier 3 spells. Now we're gonna move on to some of the tier 4 spells. The first tier 4 spell is Brand's Blessing for 3 gold. I'm gonna give this 2 stars, which some of you may disagree with, but I feel pretty confident in this one. Basically, Bran on tier 4 historically has not been very good. So you probably have to be on tier 5 to be able to buy this. Because on tier 4, the battle, first of all, the battle cry quality isn't great. Second of all, you don't have enough economy to justify buying most battle cries. Like I think you should pair this with maybe Fairy Tale Caroler as your best option, and even then, it's like spending 3 gold for a 2/2 on your board, which isn't amazing at that point of the game. So yeah, I think the situations where I would buy this is if I already am playing Bran comp, which is pretty often, and then I roll into this and I get a 1 turn upgrade my brand to a golden brand. But even then, it's just 1 turn. So even though it's pretty good in that case, it's not like mind blowing. Like it doesn't give you the golden brand effect for the rest of the game. So I don't think I would buy this very often. But yeah, I'm just gonna give it 3 stars or 2 stars. So next card is Planar Telescope. 4 gold. Okay, it better be pretty good if it costs 4 gold. Discover a minion of your most common type. So this card is probably too expensive, so I'm gonna give it 1 star. Think about like Primal Fin Lookout. Primal Fin Lookout costs 1 gold, right? Because you buy it and then you sell it and the Discover. This card costs 3 gold. It's 3 times more expensive. And if you're playing a Murloc build, it's usually like kind of close to buy the Primal Fin Lookout. So I don't think most of the time I would buy Primal Fin Lookout for 3 times more expensive. Like let's say you're playing Golden Banana Slammer, there's just too many bad beasts that you can get to justify just like throwing away 3 gold if you miss. Like that's a big deal, I think. So yeah, probably would not buy this, but it's good to randomly get at least. So next is Ritual Growth, which is basically evolving Tavern for 2 gold. This I think is 2 stars probably. This card is pretty good if you're like on Tavern 5 already. Once again, it's a use on Tavern 5 spell to get Tavern 6 drops. But I think you should probably only buy this if you're lacking direction. If you already have your direction, like if you're playing Theatar comp already and you use this, it's most likely just going to be burning 2 gold. So yeah, if you're like desperate for direction, I could see buying this and then you just play into whatever you get. So next card is Defender's Right, which is 3 gold, give a minion +8/+8 and taunt. I think this card is probably 1 star. I don't see you buying this for the taunt effect. You can easily buy a taunt effect for like 1 gold, or even Oozing Gladiator for 2 gold. 3 gold for the taunt effect is a bit expensive. And the +8/+8 is also like too expensive for 3 gold, I would say. Like think about Menagerie Drug, which is 2 gold for +2/+2, or +6/+6. And this is 3 gold for +8/+8. It's not that much greater. And even Menagerie Drug you skip a lot of the time. So yeah, if you really, really need a top for whatever reason, you can buy this. But yeah, usually too expensive for the amount of stats and the taunt, so not so good. Titus's Tribute is a 3 gold. Your Death Rattle is triggered twice until next turn. So I think this is 2 stars. There are situations you buy this, don't get me wrong, but definitely not mid game. Like this card is way too expensive to buy in the mid game. You can't really play for your next fight only starting like turn 6, turn 7. I think you're allowed to play for your next fight on like turn 10 or turn 9 or turn 11. But you can't buy this card before then. Actually, that's not true. This is Rylak. So you could buy this with Rylak, but even then, it's like 3 gold for a temporary effect. And I think I've told you guys how you should avoid temporary effects in the mid game. So yeah, this could be really impactful late game because it's a Titus that can't get sniped. But in the mid game, yeah, just don't buy this. Like, don't worry about winning your fight that much. Actually, the more I think about it, having a Titus that can't be sniped is pretty OP late game. Like, also, it doesn't take up a board space. Okay, maybe this is a 3-star, but only because it's so good late game. And like a lot of times you need the Titus late game, but also you need to be pretty rich. Cause like, let's say you buy this every turn, you need like 3 gold every turn to spend on this, which is probably worth it, but it's pretty expensive. Okay, Contracted Corpse. 3 gold to discover a Death Rattle minion. So I think this is 2 stars. I think what I would probably do with this card is I buy it on tier 4 if I know I'm going to level to 6 in the next 2 turns. And then cash this out on 6, try to discover premium 6-drop Death Rattles. And this isn't a very consistent strategy though, because once again, there's so many trash Death Rattles in the pool and you can easily get like Imprisoner, Selfless. I guess you have to look at the pool and ask yourself if it's worth it or not. But I think there's just too many low Tavern tier Death Rattles. And the fact that it doesn't give consistent value is pretty bad. Okay, we're almost done, guys. Misplaced Tea Set. It's basically Menagerie Jug, which gives 2 gold +2/+2. But this one gives +3/+3 to all minion types, not just 3 minion types, which is pretty impactful because a lot of times you would be playing like 5 minion types in the mid game. So I'm gonna give this like 3 stars. I think it's a pretty solid buy on like turn 7, turn 8 specifically. I think turn 9 it starts falling off in value. But yeah, pretty solid stabilization card. It's like a Fairy Tale Caroler a lot of times, but you don't have to lose, which is pretty nice, and you would buy Fairy Tale Caroler. So yeah, I think pretty solid. Primal Staff. We have Brand's Blessing for Battle Cries, we have Titus's Tribute for Death Rattles, and it's only fitting that we have Primal Staff for end of turn effects, but I think this one's much worse than the other two, and I'm going to give this 1 star. So my problem is this is that it only lasts 1 turn, and the tier 4 end of turn effects are generally pretty horrible. Like you don't play any tier 4 end of turn effect comps. It's usually Fort, which is a 6-drop, Utility Drone, which is a 5-drop. I mean, there's Scrap Scraper, but are you really spending 3 gold for like 1 or 2 extra magnetics? You usually only have to use this with like Upbeat Duo, and even then you could just roll into Drakari, and the key difference between this and the other two and Brand's Blessing is that this doesn't trigger an extra time. So you can't even buy this if you have Drakari. And it's kind of hard to play an end of turn comp without the Drakari. So if you buy this, it only lasts 1 turn. So you get 1 turn of value, and then even then, like let's say you get 1 turn of Fort, 1 extra turn of Fort. Is that even worth 3 gold? Like not really, right? Like you'd rather spend your 3 rolls for Drakari. So yeah, that's why I think this card is pretty much unpickable usually. And finally we have Hired Headhunter, which is basically Disco Shuffler but in spell form, but also less flexible because triggering battle cries on Disco Shuffler is pretty relevant. So I'm gonna give this 3 stars. The good thing about this card is it's hard to like not get value. Like the worst case scenario, you just get like Menagerie Jug or something and it's already value. So it's better than the other Discover, like the Contracted Corpse or whatever it's called. The bad thing is if you level to 5, it's just a more expensive Disco Shuffler, and Disco Shuffler is like you don't buy that often, so this card you probably also wouldn't buy that often. You'd only buy it with Brand. So yeah, just the worst Disco Shuffler, so 3 stars. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this card review. I hope you guys liked this sort of card review format. And let me know in the comments for sure if you disagreed on anything. I want to know your guys' thought. This is a prediction after all, so it'll be fun to like know what you guys think. Anyways, peace.